Welcome back to my channel, Cord Cutting in Sports. The college football season is just about to begin. So, if you are a hardcore college football fan like myself, and you're looking to possibly cancel your, expensive cable or satellite package, or just trying to decide which streaming service package to go with this year, then you are in the right place because this extensive college football cord cutting guide is going to basically go through everything you need to know to help you choose the right service for this 2023 college football season. I've been doing this guide since 2017, so this is now the seventh year of it. So I'm very familiar with all the services out there, what they offer, the advantages, and disadvantages between them. And we're going to go through all that in this video coming up. So here's just a brief rundown of what's going to be in the video, and there'll be, timestamps basically for these different chapters. First, I'll talk about what's new for the upcoming season, then just run through the main college football channels that are out there, then talk about the media rights for the various conferences, then go through some of the ways you can watch games for free, then go through the paid services, streaming services that are out there. Then kind of go through my rankings and say, how I kind of prefer the services. After that, highlight some of the documents I have available as part of the guide. Talk about a couple things just to be aware of or to know if you're looking to cut the cord and watch college football. Lastly, talk about bowl games briefly, and then after that, just a kind of reminder about how you can download or save college football games to your computer. So, what's new for the 2023 season? First of all, there's been price increases across the board. Every service basically has raised its prices since last season, except for technically Hulu Live, which had a price increase, but you could have kept the same price if you switched from the Disney no ads plan to Disney Plus with ads. However, it is going to increase its prices for its base plan in October in about 2 months. So the Big Ten also starts a new media deal with Fox, CBS, NBC, and Peacock this fall. So you will not see any Big Ten home games on any ESPN channels. Of course, they still could be on ESPN for away games, but none of their home games will be on ESPN anymore. The ACC RSN Regional Sports Networks package of games is now going to air on the CW network. So these were games that basically in market would air on a local RSN. Most of them are on like the Valley Sports RSNs, but because of the whole bankruptcy thing with Sinclair and Diamond Sports, they basically just like gave up the package, and Raycom was fine with that. So now those games are going to be on again the CW network. 14 teams will have changed conferences, so be aware of that because now they could be on different TV channels compared to last season. Conference USA will also have midweek games through the month of October. We're used to seeing Maction all throughout the month of November during the middle of the week, but now Conference USA is going to have those same types of games, but during October. Then lastly, NFL Network is going to again televise several Group of Five games. All right, so on the screen here, you can see kind of all the main college football channels. I'm not going to go through and read all of them off, but after the different groups of them, you can see the app that you would use, the mobile app, or on a connected device, to watch the various channels. One thing I just want to mention is that we don't know exactly what the streaming process is going to be like for the CW games, the ACC RSN package. And so what I mean by that is, are they going to stream in the CW app? I assume that they will, but there hasn't been confirmation on that. Um, are the games going to require authentication to stream, or are they going to stream for free? We haven't gotten really any details, about how it's going to work exactly. And then also notice at the bottom there you have kind of like the online only channels as compared to all the top channels, are mainly linear, cable or broadcast channels. So you got stuff like ESPN3, ESPN Plus, ACC Network Extra, SEC Network Plus, and then of course Paramount Plus and Peacock. All right, so starting with the Power Five conferences, you can see here the television partners for like basically the tier one rights, which are your essentially your OTA over the air networks, and then tier two and tier three. Tier two basically are your cable channels. Tier three are typically like the conference networks, the rights that are usually left that were left to the individual institutions, but a lot of them have sold them. So you can see here it's obviously a split, between ABC, those that are with, contracts with ESPN versus, CBS, Fox, NBC, and there's some that are split between them, obviously, and so on. And then all the way at the far right too, I have the conference championship games and what channels or broadcast networks they will air on. So with the Big Ten's new package, it's actually going to be split between, Fox, CBS, and NBC. But Fox will have it for this year. And I think of like the 7 years of the deal. It was something I have to look it up, but it was like Fox got, I don't know, like three, and CBS got two, and NBC got two, or some kind of split like that. Also, one thing we'll mention Notre Dame here. So all seven of their games are going to air on Peacock Premium, and six of those will also air on NBC, which means that there's one game, the Central Michigan game, that is going to be exclusive to Peacock. That's the only place you can view it. Now, here you can see the media rights partners for the Group of Five conferences. Basically, 4 out of the 5 you can see have deals with ESPN. The only one that doesn't, of course, is the Mountain West Conference, which is split between basically CBS and Fox. A lot of these conferences you can also see are going to be on ESPN Plus for some of their games. A lot of them are also on CBS Sports Network. And as mentioned, there's also the NFL Network games. So far, there's been 3 of them that have been announced. Now, Stadium broadcasted games from several of these conferences last year. It's not clear if that is going to be the case this year. It does not appear it's going to be the case for Conference USA because they actually just signed, a new TV deal that's starting this year. But I'm not sure about the Sun Belt, if they're going to have any of their games on Stadium or not. Now, how can you watch games for free? So obviously, if you have an antenna and you can receive broadcast signals using that, you're going to be tons of games on ABC, usually typically like 3 games a day. CBS um, will have at least one, but a lot of weeks more than one game per day, since it also has the SEC games still for this season, in addition to the Big Ten games and Mountain West as well. Fox, usually 3 games per day. Sometimes only two baseball, but NBC, which not only is going to have Notre Dame, but also Big Ten games as well. CW for the the ACC games. Stadium also will probably have some Group of Five games as well. So that's obviously one method. Use an antenna. Also, I mean, I personally prefer watching via antenna compared to cable, satellite, streaming service, or whatever, just because the signal is not as compressed, and it's also ahead of the signal you'll get from, um, a streaming service or cable or whatever. ESPN3 is also another great way to watch games for free. Most internet service providers include ESPN3 access. Not all of them do. Like there's some, kind of smaller local or regional ones that do not include ESPN3, but a lot of the, the large, you know, ones that you see in a lot of parts of the country, Comcast, Spectrum, so on, do include ESPN3 access just with internet service. All the ABC games are also aired via, basically ESPN3. So you can watch the ABC games in the ESPN app with ESPN3 access only. And of course, there's other games that are ESPN3 exclusive. Again, these are pretty much going to be like, Group of Five games. CBS airs its games for free on its website and also in its mobile app. So This has been the case for the SEC games. They've been airing for a while. We haven't heard any details yet about the Big Ten games, and they're going to air like a limited number this year. I think it's seven total. But I would assume the basically the way they're going to work it is going to be the same, meaning that hopefully we can watch the Big Ten games, for free on their website or in the mobile app as well. But again, we don't know the details for sure. And then Stadium, of course, also airs its games via its website and its mobile app, similar to what CBS does. So now let's start talking about the various paid streaming services that are out there. I'm going to start with the oldest one, which is Sling TV. They had a price increase back in December. So now the orange plan and the blue plan are each $40 a month. Or if you get them both together, the combined price is only $55 a month. They also have the Sports Extra package. It's $11 a month for either just, adding it onto orange or just adding it onto blue. But if you're subscribed to both of them and you get the sports add-on package, which would include all the channels from, both of them, then it's $15 a month. So you're looking at $70 a month total for orange and blue and the sports, excuse me, add-on packages. However, the DVR includes 50 hours in basically the free package, but you can upgrade to 200 hours for an extra $5 a month. The one main downside, and I'll talk about this, on the next slide, is that it only includes one stream on all of your orange channels, which is going to be all the ESPN networks. You do get three simultaneous streams on all the blue channels, which is, the various Fox networks. And it does have some local channels now. So it has ABC, Fox, and NBC, but only in limited markets. Uh, and in markets where it carries all three of those locals, there is an extra $5 fee that you would pay. So Sling Blue would technically be $45 a month if you're in a market which carries ABC, Fox, and NBC. Um, Not if you're in a market where it carries like just Fox and NBC or just Fox or just NBC, but if it carries all three, you do have to pay a little extra. And one other thing to point out is that the Pac-12 network channels it offers are the six regional feeds only. It does not include the main like national, you call Pac-12 network channel. So my opinion of Sling TV is that it can be a good, cheaper option if you don't need OTA channels, meaning you can say you can get them via antenna. But the problems are it has a small DVR and it only includes one ESPN stream, on any of the ESPN channels, including ACC Network, SEC Network, and so on. So that thing is basically kind of like a deal breaker for me. The fact that you can't watch a game on ESPN and SEC Network or ESPN2 and ESPNU, at the same time because they even restrict it within the ESPN app as well. So if you bring up the Sling TV app, you go to ESPN. Then on another device, you open the ESPN app and you try to load ACC Network or SEC Network or ESPN2 or ESPNU, any of those channels. It's not going to allow you to do that. It's only going to allow one maximum stream. So Sling TV would be best for ACC and SEC fans. Also, that's because pretty much all their games are on ESPN related channels. Also, Pac-12 fans, because for those it has Pac-12 Network available. Texas fans because it does carry Longhorn Network, and those who can get, as I mentioned, the OTA stations, via an antenna, that don't need them to be provided by the streaming service. The fans or people it would be worst for would be those who cannot get OTA stations via an antenna and need to get them from their streaming service. Fans who want to record many hours of college football games, and also those who, like myself, generally want to watch multiple ESPN channel games at the same time or simultaneously. Next, let's talk about YouTube TV. So they increased their price by $8 a month back in March. So the base plan now costs $73 a month. The Sports Plus add-on is still $11 a month. They did drop the price a little bit on the 4K and unlimited streams add-on. So that's was $20 a month initially. Now it's down to $10 a month. Although I think they have a trial for the first year. It's only $5 a month for new users that sign up for it. The DVR has unlimited space, although you can only keep recordings for 9 months. And you do get three simultaneous streams, on the base plan. Again, if you don't pay for the unlimited streams and 4K add-on, you can see all the channels listed there. It's pretty much, most are common um, college football channels. It's basically just missing like Pac-12 Network and Longhorn Network. You can also get Stadium again if you pay for the add-on, which maybe you're paying for it because of like you want Red Zone or something. But just for college football purposes, the add-on really doesn't provide much. So my opinion of YouTube TV is that it's an excellent choice for a variety of reasons. First of all, even though they had a price increase a couple months ago, the price for the base package is still comparable to most of the other options out there. Obviously includes all your network channels. The DVR is not only unlimited, but it also has the key plays, catch up feature so that you can quickly catch up to real time by skipping, say a lot of the unnecessary plays, or you can scrub through a game, very, very quickly by only seeing a handful of the total number of plays, and the ability to record, an entire league in basically just one step rather than having to go through and like adding each individual team or adding even each individual conference. But the fact that you can just go, record NCAA football, record NFL football, and it'll record and grab and basically make available, really, any game, that basically meets that criteria is another thing that just kind of separates it from a lot of the other options out there. However, it doesn't have Pac-12 network, it doesn't have Longhorn network, and of course, it doesn't include ESPN Plus, which means that if you do need ESPN Plus, buying that separately as compared to, purchasing it with Hulu Live, which is going to be coming up on the, basically right after this, can be more expensive. So YouTube TV would be best for, just general fans of college football, those who want to be able to record and rewatch, as many games as possible. And also, those who, like myself, start watching games late, maybe after they've aired by whatever it is, 30 minutes, an hour or so, and then and then basically catch up to them in real time by, fast forwarding through the commercial breaks or fast forwarding between plays. Because it does not have Longhorn Network or Pac-12 Network, as I mentioned, I would say Texas fans and Pac-12 fans is who this would be worst for. Also, you could put down those who need ESPN Plus just because of the fact that it would be more expensive buying YouTube TV and ESPN Plus separately compared to just subscribing to Hulu Live TV. Although once Hulu increases their prices in about 2 months, the difference between the two will shrink a little bit. There's one more thing I want to mention about YouTube TV because there was an update on this that was provided after I had recorded the slides in front of it. So, multi-view, which is basically the ability to view, up to four channels or ideally four games at once on the screen, was initially introduced back in March for March Madness. So, YouTube TV provided an update about it on August 16th, and they said that it would be available for college football. You can see a picture from the blog post on the screen there, and it looks like initially, users will not be able to choose the channels or games to watch, meaning you won't be able to say, okay, I want to watch this game on ESPN2 and this game on ACC Network and this game on FS1 and this game on, whatever, ABC. But instead, you're gonna be able to choose from kind of like a preset menu of different options. So like if you look at this picture, and this is for the NFL, but it's gonna be the same idea, you can see on the right side of the screen there's like multiple options for the different combinations of games that you can look at. So they didn't say anything definitively, but it looks like that's how it's going to be initially, with I guess the goal in mind to eventually get to the point where the users can choose the four specific channels that they want to watch. So this is just another great feature that in my mind kind of differentiates YouTube TV from a lot of the other services out there. The only other basically services that you can do this with are Fubo TV, but only on an Apple TV device. Or you can also do it within the ESPN app itself, which obviously is limited to ESPN channel games, also on Apple TV devices only. But the YouTube TV multi-view is supposed to be available for multiple devices. At least that's what they've said. Next, let's talk about Hulu with live TV. So currently there is, the one base plan, which is $70 a month, and that includes Disney Plus with ads and ESPN Plus. However, in about 2 months, on October 12th, they're increasing the price of that plan to $77 a month. So that's a $7 increase, basically, exactly 10% increase. Now, the one thing, and it's obviously was still Disney Plus ads or ESPN Plus. The one other thing to be aware of is currently there is a $69 a month plan, which is only Hulu with live TV and does not include Disney Plus or ESPN Plus. It isn't clear if that price is going to change on October 12th. There was all the announcements that came out, which documented the price change, didn't mention anything about that. But if you go search for it, wherever, Google, you put in Hulu Live TV only, and then you can it'll bring you to the page where you can actually choose to sign up for the live TV only plan. Doesn't have the Disney Plus or ESPN Plus. Now currently it's only savings of $1 a month, but maybe if they don't raise the price of that, then it's a price difference of $8 a month. Once it comes to mid-October. They have an unlimited DVR, just like YouTube TV, but again, the recordings can only be kept for 9 months. However, uh, they only allow two simultaneous streams, one less than YouTube TV. They do have the unlimited, streams, they call it screens, add-on for $10 a month. Similar to YouTube TV, you can see the various channels listed there. The sports add-on that they have doesn't include any, college football related channels. And you can see here it's pretty much the same exact channels, that YouTube TV offers, just they don't have, Stadium. So, what do I think about Hulu with live TV? So it's a great choice if you want Disney Plus and or ESPN Plus, because if you're to buy another service and then buy Disney Plus and or ESPN Plus separately, the cost would probably be more than, the bundle you get by buying Hulu with live TV. Um, Currently, it has the cheapest price point, for comparable services, $70. But again, that's going up in about 2 months, when they have the $7 price increase. However, the main downsides are that it only has two streams compared to three, that for most of them have. And the thing I run into, and this is basically a deal breaker for me, are issues with fast forwarding recorded events and skipping ads specifically on live events. So, what I'm talking about is when I start an event late, say there's a game that kicks off at noon, but I'm not able to start watching it until 1 o'clock because I'm busy doing something. So I start watching at 1 o'clock, and then I'm trying to eventually catch up to real time by skipping, fast forwarding through the ad breaks and or between plays. So there are some restrictions they have about fast forwarding ads still on, recorded programs. And basically what I ran into last year was on mobile devices, like an iPhone, I could fast forward through the ads without any issue. But on connected devices like Roku or Fire TV Stick, I could not fast forward through the ads. So it was, really annoying um, to try to start something late and then try to catch up to live using those devices. So that is basically a deal breaker for me personally, but it might not matter for you. So who is Hulu going to be best for? Well, general college football fans. Also, like I said, those who also want or need Disney Plus and or ESPN Plus because of the fact that it's included in the price. Also, because of the unlimited DVR, of course, if you want to record and rewatch many hours of college football, um, it's good, for those fans as well. Probably worst for, Texas fans and Pac-12 fans because, yeah, it doesn't carry Longhorn Network, doesn't carry Pac-12 Network. Um, and also fans who I just mentioned want to, record or DVR live games and catch up to them in real time after starting them late. So if you're in that same situation as me, I would avoid Hulu with live TV. Next up is Fubo. They technically, by the way, dropped TV from the name of it, so now it's officially known as just Fubo, not Fubo TV. They have two main base plans that I'm going to cover. There is technically a third one that's significantly more expensive, and it just includes like a bunch of the add-ons. But the two main ones that I'm going to talk about are Pro, which is $75 a month, and then Elite, which is the one you need if you want to watch 4K content at $85 a month. However, there is now a mandatory RSN fee for basically pretty much anyone who subscribed to it because they've added virtually all the RSNs out there that exist. It's $11 to $14 a month depending on the number of RSNs. If it is one RSN in your area, it's 11. If there are two or more, then it's an extra $14 a month. So in reality, the cost of the Pro plan is really somewhere from like $86 to $89, and the Elite plan you're really looking at um, looks like $96 to $99. So do keep that in mind. In terms of add-ons, there's the extra add-on, which is $8 a month, but technically that's included in the Elite plan. Then you've got Sports Lite, which is $10 a month, and you've got Sports Plus, which is $11 a month. So there's a bunch of different ones, but they mainly kind of carry the same channels. The DVR is limited to 1,000 hours. However, there is no time limit on it, which is different than a lot of the other services, which have a 9-month limit. And it does give you 10 simultaneous streams at home. Again, that is significantly more than a lot of the other ones, which are like 2 or 3. Now, things to keep in mind: the ACC network and SEC network for the Pro plan, i.e. the cheapest, base level plan, are only included for people that are in market for those, basically in states, for those conferences. So if you are out of market for the ACC network, say you live in like California, or for the SEC network, again, you live in California or wherever, somewhere on the West Coast, Pennsylvania, then you would not get those channels in the Pro package. You would instead need to subscribe to one of the add-ons. So like Extra or Sports Plus, you would need to subscribe to one of those in order to get ACC network and SEC network. And there'll be a link in the description below about the specific states that are in network or in market, excuse me, and out of market for those two channels. Also, for the Pac-12 network, for the extra add-on, it only includes the national feed. However, for the Sports Plus add-on, which that's also the one that includes NFL Network Red Zone, it includes both the national feed and the 6 regional feeds. So my opinion of Fubo is that it has the most expensive price point, or yes, yeah, more expensive price point, and now with the first of all raising of prices back in January, but also the mandatory RSN fee. And the other thing is that in its base package, in like the Pro package, ACC Network, SEC Network, ESPNU, and ESPN News are not necessarily included, unlike most of the other services. YouTube TV, Hulu, Live, and even Vidgo include all those channels, in their base or cheapest available package. But that is not the case for Fubo. However, it does carry Pac-12 network, one of only a couple of services that do that, and it does have 10 streams, at home without any extra cost. So this service would most likely be best for, general fans, as it does carry basically every college football channel out there except for Longhorn Network. Pac-12 fans, since you can get Pac-12 network, or any fans that want to watch, more than 3 games at once, at the same time. However, I would say it's worst for Texas fans since it doesn't carry Longhorn Network, as I mentioned. Also, out of market ACC and SEC fans, since you will need to, either get the elite plan or pay for one of the extra add-ons in order to get those conference networks, or fans who want to save money, just because the price, once you add in the RSN fee, is not really comparable to um, some of the most of the other services out there. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, uh, it probably also would be best for fans who need RSNs, for other sports like baseball, hockey, basketball, and so on, because it does carry all the RSNs. So if you do need, a local regional sports network, then it would be, a good choice for you. Next up, we'll talk about DirecTV Stream. So they also had a price increase back in January, and the entertainment package is now $75 a month. The choice package went up $10 to $100 a month. The ultimate package went up to $110 a month. However, there is now a sports pack that's available for DirecTV Stream. It's $15 a month, and it actually carries um, pretty much almost all the sports channels that are in the choice package. I'll talk about that in a little bit. The DVR, it has unlimited space, but again, you can only keep recordings for 9 months. However, it now allows up to 20 simultaneous streams at home, um, which is the largest, except for the unlimited offerings that you can pay extra for from YouTube TV or Hulu Live, and it also allows 3 streams outside of the home as well. So you can see the different packages there and the different channels that are offered. So the entertainment package, has a price which is mostly comparable to the base packages from YouTube TV or from Hulu Live or Vidgo. But the problem is, it only has your basic, over-the-air networks, and then ESPN, ESPN2, of course ESPN3 online access, and FS1. Doesn't include all your the regional sports networks. It doesn't include, say, FS2 or CBS Sports Network. Those are actually on the ultimate, package. So although you can get a cheap a price a package which is comparable in price from DirecTV Stream, in order to get a package which is comparable in terms of channel offerings, it's going to be significantly more expensive. And one thing I do want to mention is with the sports pack, that can be purchased on any plan. So if you take the entertainment plan, $75 a month, and you add the sports pack to that, $15 a month, now you have a price of $90 a month, which is, first of all, cheaper than the choice plan, by a little bit, but also includes more sports related channels than the choice plan, in that it has CBS Sports Network and it would have FS2 as well. Um, so do keep in mind that's actually like not a terrible option, especially since it would be pretty comparable to the Fubo offerings, with their mandatory RSN fee and everything. One other thing to mention too, Longhorn Network is basically on for the it's on the choice plan for those that are in market, but it's part of the sports pack for those that are out of market. So out of market, the only way to get it is via the sports pack. So as I just mentioned, it's DirecTV Stream is going to be more expensive to get a comparable channel package. It also doesn't carry Pac-12 network. However, it does have Longhorn Network. It has all the RSNs, and it has 20 streams. So that should be more than enough available streams to watch games, even in a large household. So who is it best for? Well, it's going to be kind of similar to those. Um, who Fubo would be good for. So that would be fans who need RSNs for other sports, as I mentioned, fans who want to watch more than, three games at once. You want to have more than three streams going at once. Also with the unlimited DVR, fans who want to record many hours of games and rewatch them. And also, of course, Texas fans. You can get Longhorn Network on it. Probably be worst for Pac-12 fans since it doesn't carry Pac-12 network, and also fans who want to save money, just due to the inflated cost of it. All right, last, let's talk about Vidgo. So this is actually a service that I used for two different college football seasons. However, when I used it, the price was significantly cheaper than what it is now. So it has two base plans. There's Plus, which is $70 a month now after another price increase. It has Premium, which is $85 a month. And the DVR, though, is very, very limited at 20 hours, and you can only keep recordings for up to 9 months. So DVR service is included with the Premium plan, and uh, on the website, it previously said that it was only included with the first 90 days of the Plus plan. Now, when you go to the website currently, it has DVR listed under both plans. It doesn't have like the asterisk or the text saying about only for the first 90 days of Plus. So I don't know if it's changed and it's now included on both. But I could not find anything on the website, even in their help section or their FAQ about what the criteria, like if it's included in the Plus plan or not. It does offer three simultaneous streams. It does include Pac-12 network, and that's both the national feed and the six regional feeds as well. However, if you notice by looking at the channels here, it does not include CBS and related to that CBS Sports Network, and it does not include NBC either. It only has ABC and Fox, and for those markets where it doesn't have your local ABC or Fox, it does have and provide a national feed as well. But it's got a pretty good compilation of college football channels that you can see on the screen there, including Longhorn Network. So my opinion of Vidgo is that right now it is basically kind of like the absolute cheapest plan out there to get all your major college football cable channels. Is basically except for CBS Sports Network. In other words, it has all the regional sports networks. It has all your ESPNs. It has FS1, FS2, and everything. But the DVR is very, very small. Previously required the expensive plan. You only got it for the first 3 months of the cheaper plan. It doesn't have all four broadcast networks. There's no CBS, no NBC, and at least previously when I used it, the service was very buggy. At least compared to others, it was not smooth. Things would like stop, restart, kick you out of the app. Have to go back in, try to play it again. So it would be best for Pac-12 fans and Texas fans since it has both of their regional, networks. Basically, also fans who do not need to record many games. If you're just primarily interested in watching games live and not really interested in DVR so much, then it would probably be good for you. But it's going to be worst for Big Ten fans since they will now have games on CBS and NBC with their new media rights deal. Fans who also cannot get your local channels via antenna for the same reason that I just mentioned. It only has two locals, and similarly, fans who want to record and rewatch many hours of games. Since like I said, the DVR is extremely limited. All right, now let's talk about ESPN Plus. So currently, ESPN Plus costs $10 a month or $100 if you pay for a full year. However, its price will be going up similar to Hulu Live in a couple months. So on October 12th, the price will increase to $11 per month or $110 per year. It does offer 5 simultaneous streams, and this year it's going to carry games from the AAC, ACC, Big 12, Conference USA, the MAC, SEC, and Sun Belt. Now, there's a couple things just to be aware of. The ACC and SEC games are not ESPN Plus exclusive, meaning you do not need ESPN Plus in order to watch those games. So if you have access to those channels from a service that you already subscribe to, like YouTube TV, Hulu Live, and so on, then you don't need ESPN Plus in order to uh, watch those games or access those games. Just be aware though that the other conferences listed there, the games of theirs that are going to appear on ESPN Plus are ESPN Plus exclusive, meaning that you will need ESPN Plus in order to watch those games. So ESPN Plus, I would say, is best for the fans of any of the seven conferences listed up there, or any hardcore college football fans, just like to watch as many games as possible. However, it would be worst for probably, everyone else. So on the screen here are my personal rankings of the services. Uh, I have YouTube TV at the top because primarily because of the features that it offers that most of the other services do not have. So that would include the key plays, you know, kind of catch up feature. It would also include the fact that you can set it to record an entire league, which is basically like a couple button presses. In other words, you don't need to go in and um, say record this team and then a second team and a third team and a fourth team. You can just say NCAA football and it'll grab every single game and make it available to you. Or like NFL football, every single game, make it available to you. And on top of that, the multi view option as well. So like those three things are just really what make YouTube TV, um, kind of like the what I would say the best option overall when you're factoring in everything in terms of the channels offered and the price and the features. Now, if you really need Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, then I could understand wanting to go with Hulu Live instead of YouTube TV because the fact that it's just basically going to be cheaper. The channels will be then saying YouTube TV and then buying those services separately. So if you want to put Hulu Live first, I could understand that and that would make perfect sense. Although again, like I said, the price difference is not going to be as large as it is now in a couple months when the price of Hulu Live goes up by $7. And then after that, so I have Fubo and DirecTV Stream at the bottom, primarily because of the price, and also my main issue with Fubo is the fact that the base plan does not include ESPN News or ESPNU, and it only includes ACC Network and SEC Network for people that live in certain markets or certain areas. So it's like in order to get a comparable channel package with that, you really need to go to the elite plan or like take the base plan and do one of the the add-ons. So when you factor that in and the RSN fee, um, it gets pretty expensive and pretty pricey. Um, I have Vidgo fourth. However, uh, if the DVR is something, DVR capability is something that's very important to you, I can understand moving that one down, just because it does not have much of a price advantage anymore. And, the fact that you want to be able to record and rewatch many hours of games would, you know, bump like Fubo and DirecTV Stream above it. And one last thing to say about Sling. So if you are able to get all of your local channels via an antenna, or Sling includes like some of your local channels and maybe you get the other one or two via an antenna, or you like supplement it with Paramount Plus or something, or Peacock or whatever, then I could see Sling being higher uh, than like YouTube TV or Hulu with live TV. or if you use an Air TV device with it. And that basically takes like the live channels from your antenna and it incorporates them into the Sling TV guide. Um, but the fact that it doesn't include the locals and that it only includes one simultaneous stream on any of the ESPN channels is kind of what forces me uh, to have it lower in the rankings. Now, here's some documents that can help you compare, like, the various offerings. So the first one is basically a, channel kind of comparison chart. And it just goes through and it has all the plans essentially from cheapest to most expensive, going from left to right with all the different options. And it shows all the different channels carried by each. And it has some like notes at the bottom, and on the right there's the key, just kind of showing like what all the things, how all the different channels are referenced in the guide. So this is a nice visual way you can look at different packages and see exactly comparing across what's included or what's not included between them. And there'll be a link to the PDF file of this in the description below. And then there's also another chart I've made where here the channels themselves are, going down the left side, and then the services are listed across the top. So this is another way where you can look if there's a specific channel that you're looking for or that you want to see. You can go across and see, okay, which ones carry it, and what package is it included on. This, of course, does not have any of the prices or anything listed, but it is just another way to kind of like, present the information so that you can easily see which things carry which channels. And of course, there'll be a link in the description below to this PDF file as well. Okay, couple things just to know or just to be aware of. So the first is local channel coverage issues. So sometimes situations happen where your local broadcast OTA network is not airing a game, and instead it has been shifted to another channel. And the issue is that your uh, service that you're subscribed to maybe doesn't carry the channel it was shifted to. Maybe it's like shifted to a sub channel of, the main network channel. So from like 11.1 to 11.2. So, for example, maybe your local ABC interrupts a game and goes to local news coverage because there's some, breaking news event that's happening, a local story, and then it moves the game to like my TV, okay? But your service that you're subscribed to doesn't carry my TV. Well, then you would have to go find the game via the channels app. So, like, you'd have to go to the ESPN app and you'd have to watch the game in there. So, this doesn't happen frequently, but it does, happen, just to make sure you're aware. And the same thing could happen with cable or satellite. But the thing is, usually, cable companies and somewhat with satellite, they carry like more of these local channels, more of like the smaller sub channels than a lot of the streaming services do. Another thing to be aware of is overflow channels. So with the conference networks, and specifically looking at like BTN and the SEC network, when they have multiple games airing at the same time, they will use overflow channels. However, not all of the services carry all the overflow channels. I mean, I think most of them do now, but if the service doesn't have the overflow channels, then you would have to go to the specific app to watch that game. So, like for BTN, you would have to go to the Fox Sports app to find it. SEC Network, you'd have to go to the ESPN app. Okay, so just be aware of that. And again, this is the exact same thing that could happen as well with cable or satellite. You know, not all of them carry all the overflow channels for each of these conference networks. Another thing that could happen too is like games, often run late and they like overlap into the start of the next game, which is on the same channel. So it's like the 12 o'clock game, 12 p.m. Eastern game starts, and then there's a game lined up to start at like 3:30. Usually, although usually kickoff is until like 3:40. But so the 12 p.m. game goes late, and they keep the game on the channel that it's airing on. So say ESPN or ESPN2. Okay, well then the game that's supposed to kick off at 3:30 or really 3:40 gets bumped for its start to a different channel. So maybe it gets bumped to ESPNU, or sometimes they'll bump it to ESPN News. And so if you don't get that channel as part of your package, like maybe you just have Sling Orange, but you don't have the, sports add-on, or maybe you have Fubo Pro, which doesn't include those channels, in its package without any add-ons. You would not be able to watch the start of that game. You would miss it until the earlier game ends and your game gets shifted back to the channel it's supposed to be on. So that's just another thing, to be aware of. Um, Now, usually when a situation like this happens, they will also like stream the game or open it up like via ESPN3 access within the ESPN app. So you can go to the app and try to find it there as well. But still, just be aware game windows often run late, and games overlap and things get bumped around from one channel to another. Then the last thing is, so all the TV partners that were listed when I was talking about the different conferences and everything. Okay, that's obviously for the home team, because the TV partner of the home team determines which channel is airing a game. So it's possible that if you have a favorite team that you're looking at watching, they may have a game on a network which you otherwise wouldn't need or watch, because it's an away game. Like, maybe they have an away game somehow against like a group of five team, and that game could be airing on CBS Sports Network, and otherwise you would have no need to watch, CBS Sports Network, but maybe somehow your game gets selected to be on that channel, and now you technically would need that channel to watch it. So just be aware of that. Just because like the SEC, for example, all of their home games are on ESPN related channels, and for one more year CBS. um, it's still possible that there are other channels out there that you might need in order to watch a game. And same thing with like, maybe a game might get put on FS1, um, which otherwise you might not need, because you would think, oh, all the SEC games are on ESPN channels and CBS. Now, for the bowl season, basically every bowl game, playoff game is going to be on an ESPN network, except for the three that are listed there. You have the Arizona Bowl, which is streamed by Barstool Sports. You have the Sun Bowl, which is on CBS, and you have the Holiday Bowl, which will be aired on Fox. And I'll have a full bowl schedule posted as soon as the games are announced in early December, showing like which services carry the channels and everything. And the last thing to just be aware of is most of the college football playoff and New Year's Six bowl games have alternate views available via ESPN3. So most of those you can watch with just ESPN3 access. You don't need, to actually be able to subscribe to ESPN in order, or ESPN2 in order to watch those games. Last thing I want to mention is I have a bunch of videos on this channel about downloading and saving games. And this is important because, as I've mentioned, most DVRs only allow you to save events for 9 months, unlike, say, a traditional cable or satellite DVR where you can typically record events for as long as, you have active service. However, if you want to watch a replay, of that fantastic win over your rival, next summer or a year in the future or whatever, um, you wouldn't be able to do that unless it happened to like re-air, since the original game happened, and then it, re-records it, so to speak. So if you're interested in learning how to download and save, games from the various websites, so like watchespn.com, or fox.com, and using programs like Streamlink and YouTube DL, please check out my other videos. Check out my playlists that I have, which show how to do that on the various sites. This can also be done on ESPN Plus as well. It's actually not that difficult to download and save record events that basically are that have aired on ESPN Plus. So that is it for this college football cord cutting guide for the 2023 season. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them on the video, or you can always reach out to me via email, which is listed there on the screen. You can also check out my website where it'll have the text version, of this college football cord cutting guide. But otherwise, looking forward to the season, hopefully as much as you are.